Recently, the words are out that President Donald Trump might sit down with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska, in 2025. This bold, out-of-the-box idea, called heterodox for shaking up traditional diplomacy, has everyone buzzing. The meeting could tackle the grinding Ukraine-Russia war, now in its fourth year, and even tie into the United States' $15 million bounty on Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. With Alaska's historic Russian roots as the stage, this summit could shift global power dynamics or blow up in controversy. Now imagine Trump, fresh off his 2024 election win, stepping into his second term with a promise to end the Ukraine war in a snap. By August 2025, that war is still raging. Russia holds Crimea and chunks of Donbas, while Ukraine, backed by NATO, fights on. Trump's pitching Anchorage as the spot for this high-stakes talk, a nod to its past as Russian territory sold to the US in 1867. Now you might ask, why did they choose Alaska? See, it's neutral ground, far from DC's glare or Moscow's shadow, and it screams symbolism. The agenda might include a Ukraine ceasefire, possibly letting Russia keep some territories in exchange for peace. But it's not just about Ukraine. There's talk Trump could push Putin to ditch support for Maduro, whose regime leans on Russia to dodge US sanctions. This isn't their first rodeo. Their 2018 Helsinki summit left jaws on the floor when Trump sided with Putin over US intel. But on social media, people are split. Some call it a genius peace play, others smell a sellout. Either way, it's a geopolitical tightrope. This isn't uncharted territory. Think back to 1986, when Reagan met Gorbachev in Iceland, nearly sealing a massive arms deal. Or Nixon in 1972, chilling tensions with the Soviets in Moscow while Vietnam burned. These bold summits show leaders can rewrite history with direct talks. But Trump's Helsinki fiasco in 2018, where he seemed to cozy up to Putin, is a warning. Public backlash was fierce. Alaska's own history, bought from Russia for $7.2 million, now people on X are joking Trump might give it back to seal a deal. It's satire, but it highlights real fears he'll give too much. Unlike past summits, this one's happening with an active war and sky-high stakes, making it a whole different issue. So, as for the United States, if Trump pulls off a Ukraine ceasefire, say with Russia keeping some land, he's got a shot at cementing his legacy as the ultimate deal-maker. He's been chasing that Nobel Peace Prize since his North Korea talks, and this could be his ticket. Plus, if he gets Putin to back off Maduro, it's a win for US influence in Latin America, where Venezuela's a thorn in our side. But here's the catch. Giving Russia an inch could tick off NATO allies in Ukraine, fracturing trust and leaving Europe to beef up defenses. If talks crash, like the 1960 Paris summit did over a spy plane, Trump's left red-faced, his credibility shot, and tensions with Russia could spike. Alaskans are already bracing for protests, worried this looks like a giveaway. Long-term, a misstep could weaken America's hand in global talks, especially in the Arctic, where China's watching closely. But on the other side, for Russia, this summit's a golden opportunity. If Putin locks in control over occupied Ukrainian territories, it's a massive strategic win, proving his war wasn't for nothing. Sanctions relief would be huge too, easing the squeeze on Russia's economy, which is geared for conflict. Alaska's Arctic vibe might spark talks on splitting energy resources, a big prize for Moscow. But if the summit flops, Putin risks looking weak at home, where he sells himself as untouchable. He could pivot to tighter ties with China, doubling down on a non-Western bloc. If Trump pushes hard on Maduro, Putin might trade concessions there for US leniency elsewhere, but giving too much could stir trouble among his loyalists. Either way, this meeting could lock in Russia's influence or expose its limits. Now, let's assume this meeting happens. For the US, a win could mean Trump strutting out as a peacemaker, maybe even Nobel-bound, while curbing Russia's sway in Venezuela. But a bad deal, or no deal, could leave America isolated, with NATO allies fuming, and adversaries like China smelling blood in the Arctic. For Russia, success means cementing territorial gains and economic relief, but failure could push Putin toward riskier global plays. Beyond Ukraine, this ties into the US's Maduro bounty, aiming to cut Russia's Latin American clout. Arctic talks could also reshape energy markets, though they'd spark backlash from environmentalists and allies like Canada. People call this everything from a game changer to a photo-op disaster. Whatever happens, this summit could set the tone for how superpowers handle conflicts in a fractured world. So, what do you think? Big win or big mistake? Drop your take in the comments, hit like and subscribe for more.